Last year at GDC, I watched a guy spend $4,000 on flights, hotels, and badge fees. Then, come home with nothing but a hangover and a LinkedIn request from someone who sells CRM software. Okay, actually, that was me years ago, not at GDC, but at TGS. Before I figured out what I'm about to show you, I'm going to give you the exact playbook, including one move that makes your follow-up emails literally impossible to ignore. And it takes 5 seconds. The visual anchor, the Selfie Superpower. It's so simple, you're gonna think I'm messing with you. On the Monday after any major conference, every hiring manager's inbox looks the same. 50 emails that all say, "Great to meet you at GDC." And those messages all blur together. Nobody remembers who wrote what. And so, your email is dead on arrival. Here's what you do instead. At the end of a great conversation, right when you're both still in that good energy, you say, "Hey, I've had a blast talking to you. Can we grab a quick selfie?" Almost nobody does this. But when you send that follow-up email 2 days later with the photo attached, you're the person in the picture with them. It creates an instant memory trigger. Their brain goes, "Oh yeah, that person. That conversation was good." Do this 30, 40, 50 times over a conference weekend. And you've built a library of personalized, unignorable follow-up ammunition. But here's the thing. A selfie is worthless if the conversation that came before it was trash. And most people absolutely blow the conversation. They get nervous, they fumble, and they say the one thing that kills the entire interaction. The soft qualify script. You're face to face with someone who could change your career. A VP, a hiring manager, a founder who just closed a funding round. What do most people do? They panic and blurt out, "Are you guys hiring?" Dead. Conversation over. You just put them on the defensive and made yourself sound desperate. There's a way to find out everything you need, whether they have budget, headcount, open roles, without ever sounding like you're asking for a handout. I call it the soft qualify script. There are 2 phases. Phase 1, the vision. Get them talking about their future. Ask something like, "What does a massive success look like for your team by the end of the year?" Let them paint the picture. People love talking about their wins, their ambitions. And now you're not interrogating them, you're letting them brag. Phase 2, the resources. Once they're excited, follow up with, "That's a bold vision. What kind of resources have you set up to make sure that actually happens?" Resources is a magic word. It's code for budget, headcount, and priority. If they say, "Well, we're actually looking for a lead designer to head that up," boom! You just qualified a live opportunity without ever saying the word job. You shifted the entire dynamic from, "What can you give me?" to, "How can I help you win?" That 2-step script works because it flips the power dynamic. But none of it matters. Not the selfie, not the script, if you're having these conversations with the wrong people. And at a conference with 10, 20, 30,000 attendees, well, that's almost everyone. So how do you decide who's worth your time before you even get on the plane? The triage system. Red, yellow, green. Most people walk into a conference and play it like RNG. Wander around. Hope to bump into someone important. Maybe I'll get lucky at the after party. Look, luck is not a strategy. You need a filter. Before you pack your bags, you categorize every person you could meet into 3 tiers. Reds, must meets. These are your gatekeepers. The hiring manager at your dream studio. The founder who just secured funding. the person who can unlock an immediate, tangible opportunity. You go to the conference for these people. Yellows, the long game. Well-networked peers. People at companies you might want to work for in 2 years. Sure, they're valuable, but they don't take priority over a red. Ever. Greens, the tribe. Your friends, your former colleagues. Sure, they're great for your mental health, great for a beer, but they are not the focus of this mission. When you look at your schedule through this lens, the conference blur disappears. You're not just going to a party. You're walking into a room where you already know there are 3 reds and 5 yellows. And you spend your social energy where it counts. And remember that soft qualify script from earlier? That's your red target weapon. When you combine knowing who to talk to with knowing exactly what to say, you're operating on a completely different level than everyone else in the room. But all of this, it only works if you go in with the right mindset. And the mindset shift is the part that actually requires courage. The trade-off mindset. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Every minute you spend at a conference in a dead-end conversation, that is a minute you're actively choosing not to spend time with a high-impact connection. Every choice is a trade-off. And the most expensive trade-off? Comfort. I see this every single time. People hanging out at the bar with the same 5 friends they've known for a decade. It feels safe, and it's also a massive waste of your time and money. You flew across the country to hang out with people you could have had a beer with at home. Your mission at a conference isn't to be busy. It's to be intentional. I don't care if you have 100 business cards at the end of the weekend. I care if you have 3 handshakes that were made with a specific purpose. Quality over quantity at conferences. That is the expert's approach. Walking away from a comfortable conversation to go introduce yourself to a stranger who intimidates you, that's hard. And that is also exactly why it works. Which brings us to the one thing that ties this entire playbook together. The win condition. Before you leave for the airport, you need to answer one question. What does winning actually look like for you at this event? It can't be just, I want to network. That's not a win condition. That's a vibe. A real win condition sounds like, I want 3 direct follow-up meetings with VPs at Riot, Blizzard, and EA. Or, I want to find 2 potential partners for my new consulting venture. When you have that locked in, it becomes your North Star. It tells you which parties to skip, which reds to hunt down, and when it's okay to finally go back to your hotel and sleep, because you're not guessing anymore. You're executing. Stop going to conferences to see what happens. Go there with a filter, a script, and a selfie strategy. And define the win before you walk through the door. What does a true win look like for you at your next event? And if you want to level up beyond the conference, your resume, your LinkedIn, your entire professional brand, well, send me a connection request on LinkedIn, or comment below, or sign up for my mailing list. There are links all over the place here. I'm Chris Tran. Stay unstoppable.